So as a vegan, I've gotten a lot of questions over the years, and there have been some really ridiculous ones, so here are my answers to a few of them. Why do vegans always bring up that they're vegan? Well, in my experience, a lot of the vegans I know, they don't bring it up unless people ask about it. And a lot of times people ask about the food they're eating because it's different. And so they say they're vegan. Because it's different, people are going to want to know about it, and so it's going to be brought up more in conversation than if someone was just eating a hamburger or something. So like, if you were on a deserted island and the only food on the island was bacon, would you eat it? I'm sorry, but this is a really dumb question. I don't get why people always bring up the deserted island scenario. It's never going to happen. And if it did happen, that would be an extenuating circumstance. So who knows what people would do? I think a lot of times people just ask this to get the person to say that they would eat meat. But it's a pointless way of doing that. But vegans eat a lot of carbs, right? Isn't that bad for you? Aren't you going to get diabetes or something? No, carbs aren't bad for you. Only processed refined carbs are bad for you. Carbs that also have a lot of added fat and sugar. But potatoes, rice, beans, some types of pasta, those are all good for you, and they're fine in a healthy diet. They're not going to make you get diabetes. High carb diets have actually been shown to cure diseases and prevent cancers and things like that. So no, carbs are not inherently bad for you. So where do you get your protein? What about B12? What about vitamin D? But don't you need milk for calcium? You can get all of these things on a vegan diet easily. You don't need mountains of protein in order to be healthy. There's plenty of protein in beans, nuts, seeds, lentils, and just naturally occurring in a lot of plant foods in general. Vitamin B12 is actually naturally found in soils, but because of modern farming practices, these soils are not eaten with foods anymore. So there are some types of vegan vitamin B12 though that can be taken. A lot of people that actually have a B12 deficiency are not vegan or vegetarian. So it's not just vegans. And vitamin D, the best place to get it is from the sun. If you're out in the sun for 15 minutes a day, then you should be good. And calcium is found in so many more foods. It's found in vegetables like broccoli and tofu. And dairy products aren't really the best way to get calcium anyway. I would get so bored of eating salads all the time. Isn't it boring eating vegetables? I'm not really a salad person either, but there is such a variety of foods on the vegan diet. It's not all rabbit food or, vegetables and fruits. You can have pretty much anything you would have if you were eating meat using substitutes. So there's vegan mac and cheese, pizza, burgers, all different types of things. So it's never really boring. It's never been boring to me in the 5 years that I've been vegan. And there's just such a variety and such an abundance of food. Why are vegans so judgmental? Can't I just eat my meat in peace? Most vegans that I know are not the stereotypical annoying and judgmental vegans. They're actually kind of just keep things to themselves unless people actually ask them about it. They might post things on social media, but people post a whole bunch of things on social media, and you don't have to actually read it. If, someone eats meat, I'm not going to hate them for it. And I don't think that they're a bad person just because they eat meat. I might not like that they eat meat, or I might not agree with the choice they make of eating meat, but that doesn't mean I think they're a bad person. Otherwise, the majority of people I know and the majority of, my family and friends, I would apparently hate. But why do you care so much about animal rights? Shouldn't you be focusing on human rights? Just because someone cares about animal rights doesn't mean that they don't care about human rights. I definitely care about human rights, but the reason I focus on the rights of animals is because that they really don't have a voice, and a lot of people don't focus their attention on that, so that's what I choose to focus on. So yeah, I care about human rights, but I'm not focusing on that, and that's okay. There are people focusing on different things. It doesn't mean that one is more important than the other. They're all important. But bacon, this is the one that I hear most often, and I have a feeling that it's mostly just people kind of mocking veganism and not actually caring. But yeah, bacon tastes good doesn't mean that just because it tastes good, I'm going to want to eat it. Taste might be a priority to you, but to me, it's not, because the priority is not supporting animal cruelty. If cats and dogs tasted like bacon, would you eat them? And lastly, the inappropriate one that people seem to think is funny, and they actually ask this question: what about blowjobs? Well, there's a difference between consenting people and non-consenting animals. I guess in the strict definition of vegan, where it's not consuming animal products, then maybe people giving oral sex are technically not vegan, but that kind of is defeating the point. It's kind of missing the point, because veganism technically is about doing the most harm to animals, and unless it's a non-consensual thing, I really don't think people giving blowjobs are doing any harm. So those are just a few of the many interesting, weird, annoying questions that I get as a vegan. If you've heard any other ones, please let me know. See you guys in my next video. Bye!